NASCAR Canada races for the second time on the half-mile oval here at Delaware Speedway just outside of London, Ontario. This is race number 11 in the race to be champion of the NASCAR Canada Series here in 2025. I'm Dave Bradley, and with me is 2023 Series champion Trayton Lapcevich. Todd Lewis is in pit lane. First time out on this half-mile oval, it was Donald Teege who fought for 125 laps, scored the win. Now a second race, another 125 laps. Will it be Teege with the sweep or potentially somebody else? There's a lot of people who are nipping at his heels.
What an exciting first 125-lap race there. A lot of comers and goers. The 80 of Donald Teege, obviously the setback early, drove all the way through the field. A little bit of contact with the 17 of DJ Kennington, takes the lead, takes the win. Obviously, 17 DJ Kennington super fast. We saw the 74 of Kevin Lacroix. Those two guys, they were not happy with their cars as good as they were running, so a lot of adjustments here heading to the second 125-lapper. The 80, on the other hand, of Donald Teege, he wants that thing just the same and try to fend off these guys for another 125 laps.
What's interesting is the conditions here at Delaware Speedway have changed. We raced the first one predominantly in sunshine, a little bit of dusk towards the end of it, but now we're into the dark and the track is going to start cooling off.
Exactly, and generally when the temps drop like this, especially at Delaware Speedway, it gets a lot faster and it changes the handling of the car quite a bit. A lot of drivers might anticipate the car getting a little bit tighter, but a lot of times I've found here Delaware, you start going so much faster, you just kind of lose overall grip. So it's going to be interesting for sure. It's going to be about which drivers anticipated that change in the track. Obviously, DJ might have a little bit of upper hand having so much experience here as we've talked, but the 80 of Donald Teege and the 74 of Kevin Lacroix, those guys have a lot of laps here at Delaware as well, and can't count out the rest of the field, too. We had a really competitive first race.
Now, let's talk about the race for the championship. This is the second-to-last race in 2025 for the NASCAR Canada Series. It was Donald Teege who took the win, which is great for him personally, but overall in the championship, it really doesn't mess things up too much. What it does is tightens things at the front of the field.
Yeah, definitely a little bit tighter. Marc-Antoine Cameron in the 96, as we take a look at his car here. He finished in the 6th position, Andrew Ranger being 4th, and obviously DJ with the 2nd place finish. They gain a few points on the 96 of Marc-Antoine Cameron, but overall, still a pretty comfortable lead with just 2 events left. 96 not overly happy probably with how his car handled in the first event, but Rob McCluskey, the whole 96 team, they'll go to work, try and make that car a little bit better and try and salvage a good night at Delaware here.
Yeah, so what we can tell you is Cameron is still your leader, and Ranger now in second, 17 points back of the leader in the point standings, 18 points back to DJ Kennington, so there's quite a battle for second in the championship. And leapfrogging LP Jumley was the 74 of Kevin Lacroix on the strength of that third place finish in race number 1. But now we set up for the NTN BCA 125 here at Delaware Speedway. You can see the field lining up along the pit lane. And what's important, too, is that some of the fast cars we saw in race number 1 are going to start at the front here in race number 2, because the way you set the lineup is based on your speeds from race number 1.
Yeah, obviously the 80 of Donald Teege really fast at race number 1. He blistered off at 19.0 really late in that race. 17 to DJ Kennington really quick as well. He actually ran his fastest lap on lap 125, which is wild, but that's just how hard he was pushed at the end there. So it's going to be the 80 of Donald Teege, the 17 DJ Kennington on the front row. These are guys that had a little bit of fireworks. We see Donnie Thompson making some final adjustments on that 80 of Donald Teege, and he knows exactly what that car needs as well. And Donald paired to the driver's seat is really good for a second 125 lap.
I was just going to say, this is a very last-minute adjustment, because Donald Teege had been released from his pit stall and moved to the front of the line where he's going to start. And you can see the hood went up, so Don Thompson Jr. was like, you know what, the temperature is doing this, and I want to do that. So he's making those last-minute adjustments, thinking he had to at the last minute.
Yeah, and what Donnie was doing there, he was just making some last-minute adjustments on the wedge bolts, so probably anticipating a little more travel in the front end due to the colder temperatures and just going overall faster. So probably a couple rounds in the right front there just to keep the track, or just to keep the car off the track, and then maybe a little bit of a wedge adjustment in the rear end of that car just to tune it perfectly for these changing conditions.
You saw him poke his head in the window of DJ Kennington too, just saying, you know what, just hang back a little bit. It'll be easier that way, as those two nearly came to blows at the end of the first 125-lap race down the back straightaway. Kennington and Donald Teege making contact. Then they were all smiles in victory lane afterwards. So whatever was said between those two drivers seemed to bury the hatchet, or did it? DJ Kennington wants to win in front of his family and friends here. This is his hometown race.
That's exactly it. And, you know, after leading so many laps in that first one, I think DJ acknowledges that the 80 car was a little bit better, which is what we heard from him in that post-race interview. But I think DJ's just really focused on making that car better for this next 125 lapper. And I feel like if he feels like he deserves it at the end of this one, he's going to make sure it happens and ends up in victory lane there.
So you can see Tej taking his spot at the front of the field. You mentioned that DJ Kennington will roll off in second. Then it's Kevin Lacroix in third, Marc-Antoine Cameron, and Connor Pritico in fifth spot, fourth and fifth. Connor Pritico had a very good run for his first time out in the NASCAR Canada Series in that EHR number 3. He really sort of kept his nose clean throughout and came home with a very good finish.
Exactly, and that's what he needed to do. He's got a clean slate here for 125 laps. We noted the brake glow at the start of that first 125 lapper for Connor Pritico. We're sure he had Jason Hathaway on the box, you know, giving him some advice, and then he was able to lean on that at the end of that 125 lapper too. So he's starting fresh for 125 laps with a top 5 starting spot. He's in a good position to capture a really good finish here and end off the night on a high note.
And let's head down pit side and check in with Todd Lewis with a Pinty's Pit Road update. Todd?
We'll give you a little update before the cars take the green flag for the second race at Delaware Speedway. Number of adjustments made, of course, because everybody who didn't finish on the front of the field, like Donald Tej, wants their car to be a little bit better than the last race. So the 47 car, they did some straightening of the front end. They got bumped around a little bit, knocked the front end out of alignment. They've done their best to straighten it out and get it pointed in the right direction for LP Dumoulin. DJ Kennington, who mentioned that his car was a little bit too loose. It was great for about 75 or 80 laps or so, but then just didn't quite come to him the way he thought. Again, a couple of adjustments with these changing track conditions. That's something that these drivers will have to deal with as well. So the 80 car, though, absolutely no changes. Don Thompson Jr. said, yeah, we like the car very much. So a couple of minor changes as well for the 96 of Marc-Antoine Cameron, who was satisfied with his car, thought it was good, didn't really necessarily have a race-winning car, but felt he had a good car. Again, being smart, thinking big picture, thinking championship.
He doesn't need to be good enough to win the race. It would be nice to go out on a winning note, but to get through here at Delaware, a place that he struggled again, finishing 6th, that equals his career best at this track. That's sort of all he needs to do at this stage in the game in the championship.
That's right, but the 96 of Marc-Antoine Cameron, he always wants to win as well. So as we heard from earlier in the show, he's gunning for wins. He's on full offense, as he mentioned. So maybe they made the right adjustments. He's got a pretty decent starting spot here. He's close enough to the front that he can make something happen if his car's going the right way.
And he is trying to become the first-time back-to-back series champion in the NASCAR Canada Series. No other driver has been able to do that. Some have come pretty close, but nobody has been able to take 2 championships consecutively in the NASCAR Canada Series. Marc-Antoine Cameron poised to do exactly that in the GM Paille number 96. Again, the difference is 17 points according to our calculations coming into this race. And now let's take a look at the full starting lineup. We talked about Donald Tej and DJ Kennington, the fastest 2 cars from the first 125 lap race. They'll lead them here in the second one. Then Kevin Lacroix and Marc-Antoine Cameron, the 74 and the 96. Row number 3 here in the NTN BCA 125 will have Connor Pritico and Andrew Ranger alongside him. And then we look back to row number 4. That's where we find LP Dumoulin. Ryan Vargas, not quite up to speed as we thought he might be in the 28, but he'll start on the outside of row number 4. Matthew Kingsbury in the number 9 and Jonathan Arts in the 30. Again, Arts making his first start here this weekend. Larry Jackson had engine trouble, so likely won't make the start here in race number 2. And Malcolm Strawn in the 98 in row number 6. And we look back to row number 7. That's where we find Brett Weller and Dominic Scrivo, and that is your field. And taking a look out over the field, we can tell you that the Superior Propane number 84 of Larry Jackson unable to make the call for this one. So now comes the point where you really need to build some heat in these General tires and bring them up to temperature fairly quickly. Again, it's Been a beautiful day here. We had a quick shower blow through earlier in the morning just as these cars were hitting the track for practice. Didn't last long, but then the sun came out, warmed up this track, and actually turned it into a great day for a motor car race, as you could say. But now the temperature starts to drop. When you get to this stage in the fall, the temperature drops quite rapidly. And so tire temps are a big thing, aren't they?
It will definitely take a couple laps for these guys to get heat in the tires and really get a good feel of where their cars are going to be for 125 laps. You know, we saw the 17 of DJ Kennington. He fired off really good on the short run. Not as good as he wanted on the long run. So made some adjustments here and kind of gave one spot better for this next one.
So you see the weaving back and forth, but also the quick acceleration, and that's building heat in the back tires, which is super important, especially for a race start, isn't it?
Exactly, and not only the back tires, but the brakes as well. Delaware is a pretty hard braking track, so these brakes generally don't work too well until you get some good heat in them, so just trying to get as much heat in the brakes as well as we come around. The lights are off to take the green flag.
It's the NTN BCA 125, Donald Teague and DJ Kennington on the front row as they work their way through turn number 4. They will see the green flag. It's up and we're underway for race number 2 here on Delaware Speedway.
Race number 1, he's to the inside, Kennington up high.
This time it's Kennington who fires on the outside, gets a great jump, powers around the 80 and into top spot. DJ Kennington flexing a little muscle early.
A lot of speed in the 17 car as he rockets off turn 4. The 80 stays in tow, maybe just trying to save a little bit after he's got much better track position than he did early in the last one.
Oh, we got problems, and it's the contenders. Your points leader goes around. Marc-Antoine Cameron, you saw the 74 of Lacroix involved. Connor Pritico also stopped on track. No caution as we stay green, but Cameron has lost a ton of track position.
Still under green flag. A lot of debris there on the exit of turn 2, but it looks like they're going to keep the green flag out. 17 still pushing up off the bottom just a little bit like we saw him in race number 1. 80 able to keep it pinned right around the inside and looks to the bottom of the 17 car.
DJ Kennington up on the outside. Here comes Teague down low. Have a look at what happened. It looks like the 96 got a little loose and the 74 just couldn't stop, but the 47 of LP Dumoulin took a lot of damage there too.
Yeah, 74 of Kevin Lacroix didn't look like he meant to get into him. Looks like he was just carrying a little bit more corner speed than the 96. Just got in that left rear a little bit.
Kennington fended off one challenge by Donald Teague in the Gatois number 80. And now he'll tuck in behind. Happy to follow for a little bit, but again, that car just works so good on the inside in 3 and 4. And he just can't put together the run. You carry a lot of momentum on the outside coming off of 4, don't you?
You do, and the outside really is the preferred lane, but that 80 car is just handling so well around the bottom. We don't see his car dancing around too much. DJ slides up really far in the middle of turn 3 and 4 there and gives the 80 pretty good position.
Kevin Lacroix setting the fast lap of the race so far, but he's way back in 5th spot after getting involved with the 96 of Marc-Antoine Cameron, and Cameron running in the 10th position as your points leader. But here comes Teague once again. This time he'll drag race. They're side by side into turn number 1. Again, DJ Kennington trying to hold on to that second groove and does down the back straightaway. Outbreaks the 80 into turn number 3.
The 80 being a little less aggressive than he was in that first one. Just biding his time. I feel like he knows that his car is much better than the 17 at the moment. Just trying to take his time, get around there, contact free, as we see a lot of brake glow earlier in this one.
So the 17 able to use that momentum on the outside. And we talked about the shape of this track. It's not a true oval. It is more of an egg shape. It's tighter in turn 1 and 2 than it is in 3 and 4. But the battle continues at the front. Let's head down into pit lane and check in with Todd Lewis, who's standing by with a Pinty's pit road update. Todd?
We'll tell you that the 47 of LP Dumoulin was along pit road for an extended period of time, had a problem with the right front, had a little bit of contact. It also damaged the bodywork, and that's where the NASCAR officials were holding him in pit lane. They wanted that bodywork secured before allowing him to return back to the track.
Not just that, Todd. You saw some sparks from the 47. Looks like the WeatherTech Dodge is going to head back down pit lane, so that is heartbreak for a team that needed a good finish here at Delaware. He didn't get a good one in race number 1, and it looks like race number 2 is not going to go his way either.
No, unfortunately, really big setback early. Already numerous laps down as the 80 continues to work on the 17 to DJ Kennington.
Now, this is the best battle on the racetrack as it sits right now, and just so happens to be the battle for the lead. Dominic Scrivo in the 69, just out in front. No doubt his spotter's going to tell him, get down, the leaders are coming, and he does, almost to the inside wall going into turn number 1. Look at Teach, once again, pace it down to the inside as they race side by side down the back chute.
DJ definitely with his hands full early in this one. Probably not trying to save too much. He wants to keep that lead, but not sure he's going to be able to much longer.
Kennington, and you could see there was a piece of debris or possibly something came off one of those race cars. Maybe even Donald Teach. They haven't been rubbing, so it likely isn't body work, but it could have been something they picked up earlier on.
Yeah, it looks like probably a piece of fiberglass off the 47 car of LP Dumoulin from that contact earlier in the race there. Got to watch out. Hopefully that doesn't cut down a tire on that 80 car as we saw him run it over in turn 1.
Give you an idea how close they were the last time they crossed the stripe. 3/100ths of a second. DJ Kennington led over Donald Teach. The 17 still noses in front. And now the 80 takes over top spot. So able to get cleaner through 3 and 4 and onto the front chute. So yeah, did DJ give it to him or did Teach just steal it? There's that piece of fiberglass run over by the 80 of Donald Teach. But the pass for the lead, it almost looked like DJ was just tired of fighting at that point.
Yeah, the 80 car got really good position down the backstretch, and we saw the 80 generally better on the bottom of 1 and 2, but since he had that position on the backstretch, he was able to take advantage of that and fully clear the 17 to DJ Kennington. The 80 car definitely handling a lot better than that 17 early in this one.
We can tell you your points leader, Marc-Antoine Cameron, after getting spun in the early laps of this one, has battled back up into 7th spot. However, he is more than 6 seconds back of this battle here between Donald Teach and DJ Kennington. So Cameron now 10 seconds back, as a matter of fact, as we'll take another look at the pass for the lead. So there is Donald Teach getting down to the inside. And we'd seen Kennington be able to use that momentum on the outside, but this time couldn't quite do it. And it does almost look like he just sort of backs up. It's a veteran move, really. You wear out your stuff if you battle hard for lap after lap after lap.
Yeah, and I think, too, the 17, just he keep losing the front end on entry to 3 there, and then the rear end would come around with it. Just got a little bit too high up there, and once you get so high up in turn 3, you kind of hit the marbles, and it's tough to get it back there. So the 80 car is just really on a rail at this point.
Coming into lap traffic, Donald Teach just turned the quickest lap of the race, but there's Malcolm Strawn just ahead with Brent Weller there too, as Teach has to just slide up to the outside. He didn't want the 17 to get too far in there, so he almost uses the lap cars as a pick to keep the Castrol Edge Dodge of DJ Kennington in the rear view mirror as they go nose to tail in through 1 and 2. You see Strawn jump up to the outside of the 81, Brent Weller. We can tell you Ryan Vargas holding down 4th spot. Andrew Rangers in 3rd, Vargas in 4th, and Kevin Lacroix round out the top 5. But so far it has been Donald Teach and DJ Kennington. Teach continues out in front. You're watching the NASCAR Canada Series live on RevTV. welcome back to the NTN BCA 125 at Delaware Speedway, the NASCAR Canada Series here on Rev TV as Donald Teach continues to lead over DJ Kennington, but just by a very, very slim margin. Let's head down pit side once again, check in with Todd Lewis, who is standing by with our Pinty's Pit Report.
And a very dejected LP Dumoulin, who is out of the car. Boy, you have suffered through some bad luck this year, and you had more bad luck that compounded itself tonight.
Yeah, I just can't believe it. That WeatherTech 47 Omnifab Belmar car can be fast. We can run up front. I mean, in the first race tonight, we were going for P4, and we got hit by the 27 on the out of 2 there, and flat tire, and then restarting now this race, and we get, involved in someone else's shit, so I don't know. We have a monkey on our shoulder, I guess, right now. We're really, we're a tough team, and we know we're gonna, work hard for the next one, but it's really disappointing right now. It's hard to say, there's so much potential in this team. So we're just going to keep digging and come back stronger. That's all we can say.
Perseverance will continue. They'll be back at the Autodrome Montmagny.
Yeah, no doubt the WeatherTech Dodge team will put together a good showing at that track, and it would be nice to see LP Dumoulin smiling again. He hasn't done a lot of that this year.
No, a lot of bad luck for the 47 LP Dumoulin. Looked like he was getting some momentum going here as of recently, but obviously tonight at trip to London, Ontario, not a very good one for the 47.
No, for sure. Sat on the podium a couple of times as now Kevin Lacroix. Remember, he was involved in that incident in turn number 2 at the start of this race and slid back down the running order. Now battling with Andrew Ranger for 3rd spot on the track. And Ranger, a little bit of flame from the exhaust pipes underneath that GM Paille number 27. But it is the Quick Strut Napa Racing number 74 has that for the 3rd position, but it did a lot of steering to the right as it almost went around on him.
Another thing, Dave, the 28 of Ryan Vargas not looming too far away in the background either there.
No, Vargas is having a great second outing. Remember, in the first one, he sort of hung around the inside of the top 10 towards the back, but he's found some steam in that critical path security, number 28. No doubt thanks to his team owner, DJ Kennington, who said you probably should change some things and make it as quick as my car. But Vargas is he's no slouch behind the wheel, so it's just a matter of finding the right balance on these race cars and getting the driver comfortable, and that means so much.
Exactly, and as we've touched on multiple times, this is a clean slate for a second 125-lap race. So, he might have realized he abused that right front tire a little too much, or abused that right rear tire a little too much in the first race. Able to build on that and really start fresh coming to race 2. So we don't really see Donald Teach stretching that much of a gap over the 17 to DJ Kennington. I noticed that once the 80 passed him, DJ started to move around a little bit. This is a track where there's so many lanes. You can run the bottom, the top, a little bit of a slider line through 3 and 4, and you can also change up a little bit in 1 and 2. We've seen DJ open up his entry a little bit some laps. Other laps stay pinned around the bottom, and I think he's kind of found a sweet spot there and not let the 80 car get too far ahead.
You can see both of the leader cars glowing the right front brake caliper, and that's not strange. I mean, you said right off the top that this track, you do need a lot of brake, and the good thing is the brake package now doesn't fade quite as much as what would have been used maybe 5 years ago in the NASCAR Canada Series.
That's right, and it is a really heavy braking track. Drivers might be going a little bit harder as well, and the other thing could be how the track changed with the temperature. If the track did tighten up, perhaps these guys need to use a little bit more brake. Generally, as a driver, you'll do it unconsciously. You'll use a little more brake to try and turn the car if you have a tight sensation, so that could be a little bit of it as well, or it's just a little bit more prominent to us now that it's dark out.
There's Connor Pritico in the APC Leland number 3 after he had a great run in race number 1. Did get caught up in that same mess that LP Dumoulin, that Marc-Antoine Cameron got caught up in, and Connor Pritico, jeopardy of going a lap down now. He's sitting in 8th spot, just ahead of your race leader, and it looks like it won't be too long before Donald Teach makes the move around that white and blue number 3. Dominic Scrivo just ahead in the 69 as well, and Pritico had to grab a handful of wheel off of 2.
Looked like something flew off of the 3 car of Connor Pritico coming out of turn 2 there.
Well, he's another one who's been flapping some body work just a little bit. It got crushed and he never made a pit stop. And then you see the 69 of Dominic Scrivo almost getting into the race leaders. But have another look at the 3 of Connor Pritico. That's a big correction when you're in that car, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It definitely got sideways on him there. Not quite handling to his liking right now.
So the 2 race leaders managed to get through 0.7 of a second. The difference between Donald Teege at the front and DJ Kennington running in second. And then get this, all the way back to Kevin Lacroix, 7 seconds between your leader and 3rd place. Andrew Ranger running in 4th, Ryan Vargas rounding out the top 5 at this point. But that's incredible, the pace that the top 2 have been able to put in at this point in the race. They're just setting sail. They're in a planet of their own. Extremely
fast-paced, and really the rest of the field's just preying on a caution at this point. Obviously, 74 of Kevin Lacroix would really like that after the issues that he had in turn 1 there.
DJ Kennington continues to just try and keep the Gattawa Construction number 80 of Donald Teege in sight, but Teege continues to lead here in the NTN BCA 125. We'll be back. And welcome back to Delaware Speedway, just outside of London, Ontario, and the NTN BCA 125, race number 11 of the 2025 NASCAR Canada Series season. I'm Dave Bradley. Joined with me in the booth is 2023 Series champion Trayton Lapsevich. And let's head down pit lane and talk to the 3rd member of our broadcast crew. Todd Lewis is standing by with another Pinty's Pit Road update. Todd?
Just checked in with both of the front-running teams, the 80 of Donald Teege. As we told you at the start, they didn't make any changes or adjustments. They felt their car was exactly where they wanted to be. They would be fine for the 2nd race at Delaware Speedway. Also spoke with the 17 team of DJ Kennington. They did make a few adjustments. They felt that they would be better later on in the race. They feel that they are maintaining pace now with Donald Teege. He's a little bit ahead. The gap fluctuates about 0.6, 0.7. They feel that they are in the neighborhood now. They want to stay close until they get to the end of this race, and let's duke it out one more time.
And that's interesting because this is a case where DJ Kennington is going to sort of hang back. And as I say hang back, it looks like he just closed the gap considerably there. But this is a typical DJ Kennington race.
It is. He's really just trying to keep the 80 in his sights right now. You know, I think the 80's turning some good lap times, but we saw DJ just turn his fastest lap, which was also the fastest lap of the race, just on lap 49 there. So 17 still got some speed. I think he needs to have it a little more consistently to keep that 80 in his sights, though.
And we can tell you Kevin Lacroix continues to hold down 3rd spot, but we talk about the gap between 1st and 2nd being about 0.8 of a second. It is 8 full seconds, almost 9 seconds, back to Kevin Lacroix in 3rd in that quick strut Napa Racing number 74. That is unbelievable. And Andrew Ranger just turned his quickest lap of the race. He's sitting in 4th spot, but he's even further adrift back from the 74. So all of the drivers struggling to keep pace with both the 17 of Kennington and the 80 of Donald Teach.
And Dave, another thing that we didn't really touch on yet, but the teams did have to anticipate the change of only having 2 new fresh right side tires. So they're on the same left side tires that they completed the first 125 laps on. So there was a little bit of saving involved there because you did have to make 2 left side tires last a full 250 laps, and it does change the handling of the car when you add only 2 fresh new right side tires and not left side tires.
How much do you use your left side tires here, though? Do they wear down a lot, or are you mostly leaning on the right side?
You know, a lot of people generally wouldn't think that the left sides mean a whole lot. In that sense, the left front probably doesn't mean a ton, but the left rear is important for sure. You've seen these guys sliding all over the place. They're sliding in the corner, sliding out of the corner, and just as the right rear takes a lot of wear and tear, the left rear wears down as well. So that all comes into factor here as we lead into the second 125 laps.
And there you can see the 81 of Brent Weller, the driver from Toronto, Ontario, tucked to the inside down the straightaway as the 2 leaders go by, and as they cross the stripe, 0.6 of a second. So DJ Kennington is starting to come.
That's right, and DJ still, as same as race 1, he's really strong through the lap traffic. We saw them have to work around Jonathan Arts and Brent Weller there, and DJ's able to close in a little bit and try and minimize that gap.
Coming just over the halfway mark now for these 2 drivers. You see Mike Charret, the official starter for the NASCAR Canada Series, giving the cross flags as they cross the stripe to Donald Teach, who has led nearly since the drop of the green. He started on pole, but relinquished the lead off the initial start. DJ Kennington held him off for as long as he could, and then he got a walk construction, number 80. Managed to get out in front, and it's now 0.6 of a second pretty consistently, although just looking on track, it looks to be less than that for sure.
Yeah, these guys are really trading back lap times back and forth right now. Both of them have a lot of speed, and right now it's just about who can be more consistent. And we also don't know what's going on with the 80 team there, whether Donnie Thompson's saying just manage this right here. You know, we got him, but still a lot to play out here as we lead into the second half of the race.
A lot of laps to be played out, too, as we come up crossing over lap 67 of a scheduled 125 here in the NTN BCA 125. And Donald Teach, who made it exciting in race number 1, he spun in the early going, trying to pass for the lead, had to go all the way to the back. He didn't even get a caution in that one, and then battled back almost halfway through the field before the caution flag did fly, and eventually did outduel the 17 of DJ Kennington, but Kennington was the class of the field for the first half of that race in race number 1, and it looks like this time it is Donald Teach who is the class of the field so far. But will the tables turn? Kennington is starting to get a little bit closer.
That's right, and we do have some quicker lap traffic that they're coming up on as well. You'll see actually our points leader, 96 of Marc-Antoine Cameron. He's not too much ahead of that 80 of Donald Teach right now. And then also the 9 of Matthew Kingsbury. That could pose some challenges for the 80 car and allow DJ to close up that gap.
Wouldn't that be huge if DJ Kennington, who came into this race sitting 3rd in points, 18 points back of the points lead in the NASCAR Canada Series, if he could put the 96 behind him and lap down, that is huge for A, his confidence, but B, for his points chase as well. But Donald Teach is even out in front of the Castrol Edge Dodge. Donald Teach leads Kennington, and Kevin Lacroix will take another quick break here on Rev TV. right, welcome back to the NASCAR Canada Series on Rev TV, and we can tell you under caution now for the curb records number 98 of Malcolm Strawn, who went for a loop on the racetrack. And that is the reason we are currently under a caution. There is your race leader, and there is Malcolm Strawn, who is trying to stay ahead of Donald Teach and stay up on not necessarily the lead lap, but not to go another lap down. But the Ford Mustang, owned by Jim Bray, goes for a quick loop. And we should mention, too, that team is racing with a heavy heart this weekend. The main team operator, the crew chief, car chief, Norm Simpson, passed away suddenly because of a heart attack, and Pam and Jim Bray said, you know what, Norm would want us to be here, and that's why we are. So the 98 is racing in honor of that man, Norm Simpson, somebody who we will miss in the NASCAR Canada Series paddock for sure. But it's good to see the team out here and racing in his honor here at Delaware Speedway. We can tell you that Donald Teach continues to lead. DJ Kennington, Kevin Lacroix, Andrew Ranger, Ryan Vargas. That's your top five. Marc-Antoine Cameron did manage to get around Matthew Kingsbury, and so he's up to 6th spot. But what this does is now bunch that field back up. Lacroix was almost 9 seconds back of the race leaders, Donald Teach and DJ Kennington.
And more importantly, it keeps your points leader on the lead lap. He was only a handful of laps from going a lap down. The 9 of Matthew Kingsbury actually did go a lap down, but he's going to get the free pass as he was the first car 1 lap down.
He might have been the trap car, actually, at the time the caution came out, because he's tail of the field, and there you can see the 3 of Connor Pritico is at the front. So they did not complete a full lap under green, and that is important when you're looking at the starting lineup. So Matthew Kingsbury gets to restart towards the tail. Connor Pritico will get the free pass, and he will be put back on the lead lap. When we return, we will go back to green. You're watching the NTN BCA 125 on Rev TV. The field is already doubled up, ready for a restart as the pace car finds pit lane. And Donald Teach and DJ Kennington will make their way into the Pinty's restart zone with Kevin Lacroix and Andrew Ranger in the row right behind. Green flag is out once again. And we have contact going into turn number 1 as Lacroix had to grab a handful of wheel to hang on to that one.
DJ, once again, very strong on the outsides, able to take the lead into turn 3.
Interesting that Donald Teach, knowing how quick that 17 car is on the outside, chose the inside for the restart.
That's right, but Donald Teach also felt his car was really good on the bottom as well, and that's kind of the trade-off you got to make as the leader, right? You got to take that into consideration. The 80's going to have to work that lead back over from DJ if he wants to win this one and sweep the night.
Now the 27 GM Paille Chevrolet of Andrew Ranger chases that lead duo in 3rd spot. Nobody has been able to hold a torch to the quick running duo here. The 17 of DJ Kennington, the 80 of Donald Teach, as they stretch a lead once again. over third place. And now Teach gets a nose underneath. They make a little contact on the exit of turn 4.
I would like to see the 17 of DJ Kennington just hold the bottom a little bit more through turns 3 and 4, but I feel like he may have to overslow the car a little bit too much in order to do that. The 80 car is just so good around the inside of the track.
And now you can see Kennington trying to use that momentum on the outside. They're side by side down the front chute. And again, the 80 continues to chip away. He just gets a little bit closer, a little bit closer. We've seen this movie before, and it ended up with Donald Teach in top spot.
That's exactly it. The 80's just trying to get as good position as he can entering into turn 3. You see DJ slides up a little bit. The 80's able to keep it pinned around the bottom and get a good exit.
Donald Teach is not necessarily involved in the driver's points. He is in the owner's points because Alex Tagliani's been wheeling that car on the road and street circuits, and now Teach looked like he had it, and then DJ just drove it in a ton on the outside in turn number 3, and he'll hang on to the lead as they cross the stripe, although 0.02 of a second the difference at the start-finish line, and that's not going to last too much longer as here comes Teach down the back chute.
DJ.
And you can see the 17, and we've got caution out, problems on the racetrack for Scrivo and Weller. And it looks like Scrivo has stalled the Bolton GM, number 69, CR Excavating on board the Chevrolet. So he's going to try and get that one refired. Weller did keep it running, but cautions, as they say, breed cautions. And then we've got our second of the NTN BCA 125. And again, we're getting down into the nitty-gritty. Thing is, the drivers aren't used to sprint races. We're not quite used to sprint races either because we're half an hour into this one, and we're already with under 40 laps left to go.
It's going to give the 17 to DJ Kennington another shot at the 80 of Donald Teach. It's going to be interesting to see if Donald makes a different decision on this restart here, whether he takes the outside, tries to take that line away from DJ.
Or did DJ have the lead?
Oh.
It didn't get a full lap in, so DJ is being marked as the lead. The Castrol Edge Dodge will lean him back to green when we return here on Rev TV.
First 125.
Welcome back to Delaware Speedway and the NASCAR Canada Series on Rev TV. The pace car once again pulls in a very quick caution for a spin up in turn number 2. It's DJ Kennington and Donald Teach through the Pinty's restart zone, and we are back underway. And look at Ranger now, the GM Paye number 27. He poked a nose on the inside of the Castrol Edge Dodge of DJ Kennington. He has to back out, and now he's in a battle for second with Donald Teach.
This is exactly what DJ wants to see here. He knows that the 80s car has been really good, and now he gets to put a car in between the two of them. It's going to let him get away just a little bit, but the 27 applying some pressure to DJ.
Importantly to note, too, the 96 of Marc-Antoine Cameron, your points leader coming into this event, was sitting backwards on the racetrack at one point, and now he's sitting in fourth spot, battling with Donald Teach for third, and looks like he's going to take it over in that GM Paille number 96.
Something definitely seems amiss on the 80 car of Donald Teach here. We had 2 consecutive yellows and a lot of time for these tires to cool down, and it seemed like the 80 car was maybe a little better on the longer runs, so it's going to take a little bit to get some heat in these tires and run down these top 2.
Yeah, he was so fast for so long, and looking like Waugh has fallen back just a little bit too. And here's a couple old foes, teammates at one time. Oh, the 27. Did he just hit a bump or something? Sparked heavily from underneath the GM Paille number 27. So keep an eye on the right side of Andrew Ranger. He may have a tire going down as he showed some sparks going into turn number 3. Watch when he lets off. And again, it does. And that's not the right side. That's the left side. It's grinding something down.
Yeah, definitely a little bump there on the inside of turn 3. And I think he's just driving so hard right now and traveling the front of that car so much, just grabbing it a little bit. And we saw him slide up the track there that last time through 3 and 4, and it opens the door for Donald Teach.
Now here comes Teach side by side. Teach where he's so strong on the inside. Let's head down pit side once again and check in with Todd Lewis with a Pinty's Pit Report.
Yeah, tell you some things about the 27 of Andrew Ranger. After race number 1 here at Delaware Speedway, he was having a lot of problems through corner entry. Could not get the car to turn into corners to his satisfaction. They made some adjustments. They made some changes to that car before race number 2, and it has certainly improved. It's, however, perhaps caused other issues because that car is now starting to fall back, and it is not handling as well. It's been a battle all night for the 27 car. Looked good off that restart, but now starting to fade.
It looks to be a handful, actually, especially in through 3 and 4. That's where we first saw the sparks show. Just as he sort of let off the gas, the front end droops a little bit, and it looks like something was grinding down, and now he has all his hands full with the 96 of Marc-Antoine Cameron, and Kevin Lacroix's in there, too. That's a pretty good battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. As Cameron gets to the inside of the 27. Couple of GM Paille backed entries. Now, they're not teammates. They just look the same. On the racetrack, you can tell the difference between the two cars from afar by looking at the roof color. The black is Andrew Ranger. The red roof is Marc-Antoine Cameron. And
contact.
And more contact coming. Ranger did not like that move by Marc-Antoine Cameron as Cameron came up on him on the front straightaway.
Yeah, Ranger just struggling to get the power down there. And like I said, as he gets into him again, he's the 96 sideways.
And around goes both the GM Paille cars as Cameron stops on the inside of turn number 4. And now the 27 of Andrew Ranger looks like he's got a tire down. A left rear flat for Andrew Ranger. Remember, they were battling for 3rd spot. And now Ranger will have to come down pit lane. Cameron loses a ton of track position. Have another look. I'm not sure there was a very big hole there for Andrew Ranger. He might have seen something a little bit different, but
yeah, I think Ranger, like you said, maybe not happy with the move on the front stretch. The 96 faded up a little bit there, and wow, Ranger really drove it in deep in there into turn 3, and it spins them both around.
Yeah, and then the nose of the 96 caught that left rear of the 27, cutting down the tire on Andrew Ranger. But wow, this is going to shake things up at the front of the field with what will be under 20 laps to go when we go back to green. But first, let's head down pit side once again. Check in with Todd Lewis with another Pinty's Pit Side Report. Todd.
Standing by with the 27 team who are awaiting the arrival of Andrew Ranger after that cut down left rear tire. You see the team up on the wall sign waving. They are waiting for pits to open, and Andrew is trudging around out on the track trying to keep that car moving forward. We're waiting for him to arrive, and now he makes his way down along pit lane. Sparks coming from the left rear. Double checked with the team. We were seeing those sparks through corner entry. It was just the car bottoming out. They were not dragging anything in particular, but yes, it's still him trying to fight the handling of that car. Right now they are trying to fight to get that jack underneath the car because of the flat tire. They are successful. The old tire comes off. They'll replace it and get Andrew Ranger back out, but it's been a battle here tonight, and looks like we got some action ready for the final 20 or so.
Yeah, you can see the smoke off the flat tire, and I'm not sure if you can see the smoke coming from out of the cockpit of that 27 car. Andrew Ranger likely incensed after making contact with the 96 of Marc-Antoine Cameron down the front chute, and then more contact in through 3 and 4, eventually cutting down that tire. But Ranger does stay on the lead lap, according to our timing and scoring. Have another look at this. Does get a pretty good drive down, and the 96 sort of taking the normal racing line, but there was just a hair of a hole there that the 27 was going for. It was a pretty ambitious move at the best of times.
Yeah, it was, and we saw the 27 kind of shoot over the rumble strips on the bottom there. I don't get another slowed down look here. He's all the way down there. Generally, you don't see cars that low at Delaware Speedway.
Yeah, it was pretty low. But either way, contact.
Here, really lucky the 9 didn't get a bigger piece of the 96 car here. Could have been really bad, but just
you're right. Caught the back end and tore some of the bodywork on the 96 of Marc-Antoine Cameron, and it looks like he might have a right rear down, or potentially has come down to get that looked at. Now he comes down pit lane. That's Matthew Kingsbury. The Juro King Chevrolet comes down pit lane. So flurry of activity down pit lane after this one. Let's head down and check in with our Todd Lewis once again with another Pinty's Pit Road update. Todd.
Just checked in with the 96 team, and crew chief Robin McCluskey said that the car is pretty good, and Marc-Antoine Cameron reasonably happy with it. Weren't exactly sure what happened out there, but there was contact. They made a pit stop, removed some of the shape metal and metal underneath the car to get rid of that debris, sent him right back out. But Mark thinks the car is fine. He's got to make his way back to the front once again, but doesn't have an awful lot of laps to do it. But hopefully he has a decent car as they double up to get set to restart.
And we can tell you the 96 Marc-Antoine Cameron still in 6th spot. The 27 of Andrew Ranger, they were both involved in that incident. In 7th, Matthew Kingsbury was the 3rd driver who caught some damage in that one. All 3 cars look so similar on the racetrack, but all 3 damaged after that incident in turn number 4. Kingsbury appears as though down a lap in 8th spot, but the pace car pulls in. It is still the 17 of DJ Kennington, the 80 of Donald Teege as they work their way into the Pinty's restart zone, and we go back to green here on Rev TV.
Ramping up here as they race off into turn 1.
Kennington got a good jump on the inside, and that's what he needed. Teege hasn't been that great up on the outside groove, and they got to walk instruction number 80, but he just needs to hold that 17 close and try once he gets clear. But now the 74 of Kevin Lacroix is going to mess up all those plans.
Yeah, not a lot of laps left in this one. Only 17 to go. The 80 really needs to stay in front of the 74 car. He doesn't need to spend any more time getting stuck in 3rd and trying to get by the 74 and then chase down DJ again.
Kevin Lacroix manages to get a good bite on the exit of turn number 4, put the 74 into 2nd spot. So now the main challenger is Kevin Lacroix to DJ Kennington, but it is still the hometown boy out in front. And look, Donald Teege crosses back over, and he's going to make a shot to the inside as Lacroix gets loose in 3 and 4.
Made it real easy on the 80 Donald Teege there, and now he's only separated by 0.8 of a second as we come to 15 to go.
Look at this, critical path security number 28 of Ryan Vargas. A little nose tap to the back end of the 74 as Vargas solidly inside the top 5, running in 4th, battling for a podium position. What a day he's having. He didn't have the best first 125 lap race, but this NTN BCA 125 is going all his way. As you can see, Donald Teach sliding underneath a very loose 74 of Kevin Lacroix.
Yeah, Kevin definitely got in there a little bit too deep, gets a little bit free on entry and slides to the third lane, makes it really easy on Donald Teach. The 3 of Connor Pritico still working over the 96. He's got that full experience today. He's got body panels flying off that thing. But one thing I do want to point out as we were talking about Vargas, that car is really clean looking. And he's still got a lot of panels left if he wants to use them.
Yeah, he's been doing a very, very good job at keeping his nose clean. Connor Pritico involved in an incident that it was not of his making. It was just a car crossways in front of him. That's where he lost the nose. Pritico sitting in 5th spot ahead of your points leader. And defending series champion, the number 96 of Marc-Antoine Cameron. So just that fact has got to be a dream come true for a driver like Connor Pritico. But he's won a late model championship here at Delaware, so he knows he can get his way around this place.
And the 27 of Andrew Ranger getting a little bit impatient again here. Could make it a 3-car battle here.
Well, Ranger's got a brand new left rear, too. Or at least one with limited wear. We're going to go 3 wide into turn number 3, are we? Down onto the rumble strip, into the entrance of pit lane. Ranger's going to stick it. Cameron's way up high. Connor Pritico is the meat in that sandwich, and we managed to stay green. That's not something you see often at Delaware Speedway.
You know, what a move here. And we're not done with the 27 and 96 show here tonight either.
10 laps to go as we'll see the replay in the main screen in the middle of your spot. There it is. Andrew Ranger was making a pit stop almost as he used every bit of that pit entry and then comes out side by side, and they all make it through, believe it or not.
Pritico did a really good job of keeping it off the 96 car there as well. He wasn't put in a great position by Andrew, once again kind of driving in there really low into turn 3, but did a really good job of not compounding into bigger issues there.
Hey, look at this. We've got a battle for the lead again as DJ Kennington slides up high into turn number 3, and the 80 of Donald Teach down low. 8, now 7 laps to go as they cross the stripe.
And Dave, that 74 isn't too far back there as well. These guys get battling. Kevin will be there in no time.
That's what he was looking for in race number 1. He said, I just needed things to get spicy at the front. It didn't happen as Donald Teach made his way around the 17. Now he's got a good bite on the inside of turn number 4 down the front stretch, and side by side in through 1 and 2.
DJ battling really hard on the outside. The 80 gets another great drive off of turn 2 there down the backstretch.
Watch how far DJ Kennington will drive it into 3, and that car seems to stick. He does lose a little bit as Teach holds the inside lane, but still, once again, DJ Kennington, 6/100ths of a second in the lead of the stripe. 5 laps to go. There will be 4 the next time they cross the stripe. So far, it's been a clean dice at the front of the field between Donald Teach and DJ Kennington. Once again, Kennington leads at the line as Teach drops back just a little bit into turn number 1.
And now Lacroix only 2 to 3 car lengths back now. He's getting close, and he's hungry for sure.
Kennington with no pressure this time, able to take an easier line into turn number 3, but so does Donald Teach as he pitches down low once again. It's about a half car length at the stripe. Kennington once again leads with 3 laps to go. What a race at the front.
It's been really clean so far here, but we're getting down to it, and these guys both want that checkered flag.
Donald Teach won race number 1, the APC 125, and will he nose to the lead this time? He does. The 80 led by 26/100ths of a second at the stripe. Kennington trying the high side. Watch him drive it in on the outside in turn number 3. Not quite close enough, but he'll get up alongside the 80. White flag is up. 1 more lap to go. Teach is your race leader. It's a 3-car battle at the front.
We'll see if DJ opts to use the bumper here through turn 3. He's there. He's in distance.
Teach will lead him into turn number 3. Kennington will get close. He opts to hold off the 74. Teach off the 4 will go back-to-back here at Delaware. Kennington and Lacroix will follow him home for 2nd and 3rd.
What a race.
Oh boy, what a clean race between those 2 veteran drivers. Boy, what a pleasure to watch that one.
An exciting Fritz.
Yeah, Fritz is such a character on the Donald Teach team, but the spotter for Donald Teach is MP Edouard, longtime crew member there. And of course, Don Thompson Jr. coming on board this team as crew chief, helping guide this team, making those last-minute adjustments on pit lane. Just a little bit, but it was that little bit that 80 car needed. He didn't really need much, did he?
No, DJ made the 80 car earn this one again, too. DJ really good on those restarts, was able to get to the lead. Tej got shuffled back there to third a couple times, had to run him back down. Good clean race to the end, and he's able to take the win again.
We can tell you that the 96 of Marc-Antoine Cameron posting a new career best finish here at Delaware Speedway, but it is only a 5th place. However, Andrew Ranger didn't quite get to battle back up through this field as Marc-Antoine Cameron did, so Ranger will lose some points positions, coming home in 7th spot. Connor Pritico coming in between the 96 and the 27. But yeah, the winner is Donald Tej once again, and he'll be happy with this stop on the NASCAR Canada Series Tour because it's filled with highlights. What a race between these two drivers. Look at, you can see there's barely room between them. They stayed off each other. Kennington was strong on the outside. The 80 car was so solid down low, but just a little bit. It wasn't a big mistake by either driver that cost them.
No, and the big thing to highlight here too is that any point DJ could have got behind the 80 car Donald Tej and rooted him in the third group, but he didn't. It was a great clean race between the both of them. Not much room in between the two, and that's all they needed was that little enough to stay off each other. As we see the broom here, it's a sweep for Donald Tej here tonight at Delaware Speedway.
Very much a clean sweep as they clean out victory lane here at Delaware Speedway. Donald Tej bringing the Ottawa number 80 to a rest after doing a victory lap with the Gulf Fuel checkered flag, and there is the crew ready to meet him. He said he was 59 years old in his victory lane interview in race number 1 here at Delaware Speedway, and able to keep up with the youngsters. Man, he beat the pants off the youngsters here today. Gave them all they could handle.
Great battle in both 125 lap races. We were spoiled tonight for this one, Dave.
Absolutely. Just a wonderful spot. And you can see the helmet coming off. Donald Tej, he's ready to hop out. So let's head down to Everham Victory Lane and our Todd Lewis. Todd?
Oh, yes, Donald Tej is going to get a drink of water, and he's going to hop out of that car and celebrate once again with the checkered flag. He had to wait an awful long time between race victory number 1 and race victory number 2, but he sure didn't for race number 3. He is very happy here at Delaware Speedway, and yeah, hold that broom up to celebrate the sweep of both 125-lap events here at Delaware Speedway. It is a happy team celebration that is going on right now. Donald, you had to wait a long time for victory number 2, not nearly as long for victory number 3.
What a rocket car I got tonight. My team did a great job. Donnie Thompson, since he's with us, we're fast everywhere. So, that McCoy car is quick also. So, in the life, you have to never give up. You got to keep going. Think that you got a dream and chase that dream. So that's why we did that team since the last 3 years. And tonight we got 2 races and we win 2 races. We're super proud. Thank you for everybody. I would say hi to my wife and to my 2 daughters. They're watching on TV tonight. Love you. So what a great team I got.
Dream realized for Donald Tej, sweeps both events at Delaware Speedway.
And I tell you what, Donald Tej, a great guy to talk to, but he works so hard on this team. He drives the hauler, he sweeps the floors, and he drives to victory lane in both races here at Delaware Speedway. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back to chat with your 2nd and 3rd place finishers here at Delaware.
You were closing in at the end.
I know I was faster
Welcome back to Delaware Speedway, just outside of London, Ontario, as we continue with the Victory Lane celebrations here in the NTN BCA 125. There you see the winner of tonight's race, Donald Teach. As a matter of fact, winner of both 125 lap sprint races for the NASCAR Canada Series, as he just completes his chats with the local announcer, Adam Ross, the trackside announcer of the NASCAR Canada Series. But Teej with a great dice, and you can hear in his voice just how emotional one of these wins can be for a driver like Donald Teach. Imagine how emotional it would have been for DJ Kennington, who comes up just a little bit short. And DJ finishes second, but he is standing by in Everham Victory Lane with our Todd Lewis. Todd?
Oh, yeah, it was a sensational race for us to watch. Was it as good for you to battle door-to-door with Donald Teach in that race?
You know what? We had at it in the first race, and we got together, and we had words, and that's how you race. I mean, that was a hell of a race. I wish we were on the winning end of it, not going to lie, but our Castro Edge, Brimstone Games, Brian Cathcart, everybody that helps us, CIM medals. Man, we're in a championship battle here, and we're even closer than we were today. Anything can happen at Montmagny, so we got to go home and get this thing ready to rock and see if we can't try to get a win there and go get a championship.
Two great runs at Delaware Speedway for DJ Kennington. We're going to walk over here and grab Kevin Lacroix again, who also comes up with another podium finish. You kind of like this place, too. You won here last year and a couple of podiums tonight.
Yeah, we're always faster. So I won last year, but I think today just lack of a little bit of speed. But no, the car was great, and the two cars I had, they were super great. So you know, I was watching the show, hoping they crash together maybe, but yeah, it was just good racing ahead.
It was great racing all night. Thanks. Kevin Lacroix is their podium finisher here at Delaware.
And you can hear all of the drivers, a lot of great respect for them. And that's been one of the talks surrounding this series, is the use of the bump and run. Is that, you know, if you're running second, all you have to do is knock the other guy out of the way. Well, that's not necessarily the case, as was proven here tonight.
No, it was truly two great races. And, you know, Kevin said it. It was a great show in front of him all night. We've seen Kevin probably could have been a little more aggressive there in that second race, too. But he chose not to. It was a clean race between those three, and a lot of mutual respect for sure.
Look at the point standings now. So Marc-Antoine Cameron continues to lead. DJ Kennington has closed the gap significantly, as we suspected could happen here at Delaware. Andrew Ranger still holds on to third. He's 5 points back at second place in DJ Kennington, but this is not completely done as we head into Montmagny.
It's not at all. I mean, we're expecting there's likely going to be a bigger car count at Montmagny, which means that there's a lot more points on the line as well. And DJ's been really fast all year. Mark's been really fast all year, and it's going to go right down to the wire here coming into the final race of the year.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting, and of course we're excited to bring it to you live here on Rev TV, as we have done with every race all season long. But yeah, it's going to be a fun one to watch. Cameron versus Kennington to settle the championship. And don't count out Andrew Ranger. Something can happen. And like you say, there's likely to be a bigger car count at Autodrome Montmagny as we get back onto the oval to cap things off. That track is a wonderful speedway just outside of Quebec City, and a great place to cap the 2025 season here in the NASCAR Canada Series. As you take a look at some of the highlights from the NTN BCA 125, it nearly went all wrong for both Kevin Lacroix and the 96 of Marc-Antoine Cameron. Instead, it all went right. For the 80 of Donald Teach, there were some tempers that flared up at times, but in the end, it was all Donald Teach, a sweep here at Delaware Speedway. For Trayton Lapsevich and Todd Lewis, I'm Dave Bradley. Thanks very much for watching.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.